Okay guys, so now Ashley is going to do a game day / audition face on me so that you guys can get some simple steps on how you can do your own makeup for an audition or a game day. So, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alright, let's do it.
Okay. So we talked a lot about skincare, you know how important it is to make sure your skin's hydrated, that way your makeup performs and wears so much better. I'm going to use one of my favorite moisturizers by MAC Cosmetics called Strobe Cream, and I'm just going to go in and really massage it into the skin. So the under eyes, we definitely want to make sure we're hydrating that area as well. So I'm just going to use like a patting motion, just because the skin under the eyes is so delicate. You just want to kind of pat that Fast Response Eye Cream underneath. I love Fast Response Eye Cream because it has caffeine in it, so it's almost like a cup of coffee for the eyes. And that's also going to help depuff and just brighten up those under eyes. So I'm going to start off with Shauna's brows. Brows are super important because they really frame the face, and I want her brows to make a statement, and I want them to wear on throughout the whole game. So I'm going to use a gel eyeliner by MAC called DIPDOWN, and it's great because you can use it as an eyeliner, but you can also use it to define the brows. And I'm going to go in there with a slanted brush and just kind of trace the base of the brow. And then, and then after you define the base of the brow, go ahead and take that brush and just flick upwards to diffuse the product into the brow. And this is where we're going to get the brow more filled in. So the next step is I'm going to actually use a concealer, MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm going to use this to act as her eyeshadow base and also to define the brow a little bit more. So I'm going to use a flat, stiff brush, synthetic hair. I'm going to have her tilt her head, look down for me. And I'm going to go right under the arch of the brow, and I'm going to start there. And I'm just almost going to trace the brow. And really just diffuse it out, and then take the rest of the product and just wash it all across the eye. And you can see the difference, how that brow almost looks more defined once you do trace it with the concealer. So I'm just going to take my Beauty Blender sponge and just blend out that concealer. Look up for me. And I'm going to use the concealer and just kind of wash it underneath the eye as well. And this is shade, look down for me, NW25 by MAC. So our next step is going to be shadow, and I want to give her a really soft, beautiful smoky eye. So first step is we're going to define the crease. I'm going to take my blending tapered brush, and I'm going to be using Sienna, this nice, rich, warm brown by Anastasia, Beverly Hills. And I'm going to take the brush, I'm going to start right here in the crease, and I'm just going to do like a windshield wiper motion back and forth. So I'm going to take that same color with a flat, stiff brush. It's still a little bit fluffy because I do want to buff it and blend it on the lower lash line. So I'm going to take the brush, the very tip of it, I'm going to have Shauna look up, and I'm just going to rock it back and forth. So that's the same color that we popped in the crease, and now I'm just defining her lower lash line. So our next step, we're actually going to go back to using the Dip Down, that gel eyeliner that we used earlier. And I'm going to take that same brush I just used on Shauna's lower lash line. I'm going to build up the brush. Not too much product because you can always add more and it's a little bit harder to take some away. And I'm going to take this, and this is going to be the base of her smoky eye. Remember, it's water resistant, so it's going to really help her smoky eye wear long. I'm just going to take it starting at the base of the lash, slowly diffusing the product upward. So this part can be a little tricky, so sometimes I like to take a little bit smaller of a blending brush. I'm going to pick up some Espresso eyeshadow and just go in there and diffuse out any of those lines that we see. So I'm keeping the brush positioned right in the lower part of the crease and doing little circle motions to buff it out. That way we don't see any rough edges. I want to introduce you guys to one of my favorite cosmetic lines because everything's only $5. It's by ColourPop. This is a shadow by ColourPop Cosmetics. The pigment and color payoff is amazing, and the price, you can't really beat
Yeah,
it.
$5.
So $5.
Awesome.
So I'm going to use the shade in Super Shock, and I'm just going to load up the other side of the brush. Give it a little spritz. That way it holds better.
What are you spraying it with?
I'm going to use Fix Plus.
Okay.
Have you ever used Fix Plus before?
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to have you look down for me, and I'm just going to take this and lay it flat on top of that dark base that we created. So I'm going to go back to the lower lash line, show a little some love. I'm going to take like a flatter, more stiffer brush. Look up for me. And I'm just going to take that with that dark espresso brown, and I'm just going to take it and hug it right there by the lashes. So I really want to keep the liner super simple and easy, because I know wing liner, liquid liner, gel liner, everyone always has, you know, it's always a little troublesome sometimes to get it down right. So I'm going to use Feline for her waterline just because it's a kohl, so it's going to be really nice and pigmented, and you can smudge it out, but it's not going to run. And then I'm going to use Black Swan for the top liner because it's going to give a really nice sparkle. So I'm going to start off at the bottom. I'm going to use Feline. I'm going to have you look up for me. And I'm just going to take this and just kind of rock up to each other a little bit. Look up. I'm just going to rock it in the waterline, and I really want to build up the color payoff, so I'm probably going to be a little bit heavier handed here and completely black out that waterline. So now that it is, because it is a kohl, it is going to smudge naturally. Look up for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blend it into the shadows, that way it won't run. Then I'm going to use Black Swan for the top. Don't worry if you mess up, because this is the easiest liner to fix ever. That's why I love using it, especially for girls who maybe don't have much experience doing their own makeup. So get it on there as good as you can. And then once it's on there, I'm going to go back in there with that same shader brush, and I'm just going to mess up the line. I'm going to use L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. This is one of my favorites. I think it's about $5, and to me it's the best. It gives you tons and tons of volume, and you can get it in waterproof.
That's good, because your eyes can get dry, they can run, there's lots of different things that can happen while you're dancing. You could whip your hair too hard, you can get you can get a hair in your eye, so you definitely want to wear waterproof mascara.
Then just taking the mascara and just kind of wiggling it like in a zigzag motion back and forth to really build up those lashes. And for the bottom, if you want to separate, look up for me. You can just take the tip of the brush and just get in there and define each lash, or you can just take it and wiggle it back and forth. But I love using the tip of the brush to separate those individual bottom lashes. So the pair of lashes that I'm going to use on Shauna are one of my absolute favorites. They're from Lash Lab in San Francisco. What's great about these lashes is they are made of sable hair, and it's going to be a doe shaped setting. So this type of particular lash really complements Shauna's eye shape. It is a little bit more lengthier in the center, so it's going to look really great on her. So it's really important to, when you take the adhesive, to just apply it on just the base of the lash. You don't want to use too much. And letting it dry for about 15 to 30 seconds. It already started drying a little bit because I applied it on the dish. So what's great about these lashes is the band is made of cotton, so they're going to be really flexible and easy to apply, and it's also going to feel more comfortable wearing a lash as well. So with this type of lash, I'm just going to go ahead and apply on Shauna's lash line. I'm going to have a razor brow. When you look surprised, it actually tightens the skin, so the lash is just going to pop right on.
That's a good tip, because I still have not mastered the craft of lashes, which is why I have this guy. This is a special applicator from Lash Lab, and it makes the lash application really easy because you just pick it up and set it on your eye. So, but Ashley's a pro, and she does not need this guy, but I do.
And while the glue's still setting, you want to push the lashes upward. That way they dry. Looking a little more flirty and pointing up. So before we get started with foundation, I'm gonna use SMASHBOX Photo Finish Primer. Super popular primer, a lot of people love this one. What's great about it is it's gonna help increase the longevity of your foundation, and it's also gonna go and help there minimize fine lines and pores. So I'm just gonna pat it where I want it. So for her skin today, I'm going to use MAC Studio Fix Fluid, Pro Longwear Concealer, and then a Prep and Prime Light Boost for her highlights. So I'm going to use Studio Fix Fluid just because it is a full coverage, buildable foundation, and it also helps to mattify the skin. So we're going to go ahead and take NC40 and just kind of apply it all over the face. No rhyme or reason to it, just making sure it's evenly kind of spread out. Because I'm going to use my Beauty Blender, which I used earlier, to help the foundation blend better into the skin. What's great about the Beauty Blender is you can actually wash it and continue to reuse it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So now I'm going to go in with my highlighter. I love this guy, and I'm just going to kind of draw the markings of where you would want to highlight. So the trick to under eye highlighting is to actually, with this particular product, to let it set for a second. That way when you go to blend it out, it's just a little bit more perfected and doesn't separate. Sometimes when you blend out your highlight too soon, the product can separate. And then I like to go in there with a little bit of the Fix Plus. Go ahead and close your eyes. And then I'm going to use the Beauty Blender, look up, and I'm just going to stamp the highlighter right into the under eye. What this is going to do is it's going to help her eyeshadow to really pop, and it's going to accentuate the high planes of her cheekbones. So next we're going to go into contouring / bronzing the skin. I'm going to use Give Me Sun Bronzer by MAC, and then I'm going to resort to my ANASTASIA Beverly Hills palette for setting the highlight and also to define the contour a little bit more. So I'm going to use my fluffy 129 brush, just because the bronzer doesn't need to be too precise. Kind of want to just give her a little bit of a bronze effect on the skin without looking too sharp. So I'm going to start off kind of right here by the ear, underneath the bone, kind of in this indentation right here. I'm going to take the brush and I'm just going to sweep it back and forth, kind of more in an upward motion to really define that cheek. So it's up to you. You can actually leave it at this step because she definitely still looks nicely highlighted and contoured, but if you want a more defined cheekbone, I'm going to resort to my Earth Tone Shadow from the Anastasia palette, and you can customize these palettes on her website. I'm going to take a little bit smaller of a brush. The smaller brush is going to allow me to deposit the product right where I need it. So this way. And I'm just going to take it and I'm going to go right where I want it, a little bit more defined. And I'm just going to sweep it. I'm just going to sweep it right underneath. Okay, so then we're going to use the banana shade, and I'm going to use this just to kind of set where we highlighted her face. So kind of build up the brush, dust off some excess, and just kind of press it where we highlighted. What this does is help to set the highlight, that way it doesn't crease later on. So definitely if you're going to be sweating, dancing, moving around, you want to make sure your foundation and your concealer and your highlight stays put. So next I'm going to use Cheeky Bronze by MAC for her blush, and then my absolute favorite highlighter. It's the Artist Couture highlight in Gold Digger, and it's one of my absolute favorites, so we're going to use these two to make her cheeks really pop. So first I'm going to have Shauna smile. I'm just going to start on the apple of the cheek. Yes. Okay. So we're going to use Gold Digger, and I'm just going to load up my fan brush. I recommend getting the fan brush. It makes highlighting so much easier, so you don't have where it's way too much and it's concentrated in one area and you can't fix it. So I'm going to spritz out a little bit. I like it when it has a wet effect to it. Looks a little bit more like a glow as opposed to a powder finish. And I'm just going to go right on the bone of the cheek. So everyone has a cheekbone. So you're just going to apply the highlight right there. So turn this way. Like this. I'm just going to kind of dust it right above the blush. So I want to show you a little trick. So I'm actually going to use ColourPop Cosmetics again because it's only $5 and the payoff and the texture is absolutely amazing. And this is the shade Wifey. Hey! So I'm going to have you go ahead and apply that how you would. I just feel like personally it's a little bit easier to perfect a bold lip after you get some of the lipstick on, and you want to use a lip liner to do so. Perfect. So then I want to take my sharpened lip pencil. Okay, and then I'm just going to go in and just perfect the lip. So this completes our makeup tutorial.
Yay! So this look is definitely something that would be suitable for a game day, for an appearance, for an audition. You guys would definitely wow the judges with this face. So Ashley's gonna give me all the steps, and they are in the description for you, so that you can practice and get this face at auditions. Ashley, if the viewers have any questions or want to get into contact with you about doing their makeup, how can they reach out to you?
Well, I do have a makeup account on Instagram, so I would love it if you come and find me. It's Ashley Bias, and just hit the follow button, and yeah, I post all my makeup tutorials and little inspirational stuff.
Awesome. So thank you so much for doing this, and I love my face, and make sure that you guys come back next week. We'll have another dance tutorial for you, and don't forget to subscribe. Again, another big thank you to Lash Lab for letting us use their space for our makeup tutorial, and I'll see you guys next week.